and hopefully that doesn't break my computer. Who knows?
It's at this point, it's called Sarah or Bart would do something silly.
Yeah.
In our other game.
All right. Well, let's be happy that that's not happening.
Yee.
All right. So, I am going to start with a slight recap of the last session, just so I have this in the recording for posterity. So let's see here.
I could use a recap.
Oh yeah, it was so long ago.
No, it was a week ago, but it was also extremely deep and complicated, and I was too stunned to take notes.
Yeah, well,
understandable.
That's an issue.
My
too.
notes are the physical item that you passed me in the online game.
Oh yeah, well, I guess that counts.
Did you like it?
It was very cool.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I misplaced a scene and I'm loading it now.
That's quite all right. We will all be scene kids.
All right.
I'm gonna hope you didn't say what I think you said, because the way that came through was creepy.
Yeah, it's a good thing I turned on recording. This is great.
What did you think I said? We'll be seeking.
Okay, thank you.
No, that's not what I said, but...
I thought Marcy said scene kids.
What?
Like, scene kids? No, like...
Yeah.
Punks, like punks.
Like an archetype.
We got some new neural functions to dissect now. My like fuck up has been completely forgotten in lieu of this. Thank you so much, Marshy, for taking the pressure off.
All I said was that we could be emo.
Yeah.
So last time, there was an event in which the three of you, along with your ally Hoshi, confronted Thanash and a few spirits summoned from some unknown event prior to your arrival, probably a great many years prior to your revival. And in that confrontation, Thanash broke down an old wall concealing a hidden chamber that he wasted no time in proceeding on forward. Hoshi, upon concluding the conflict with the spirits that you were involved with, was the first to attempt to engage Thanash, quickly following down the tunnel, followed in rapid succession by, I believe the first one was Virbs was the first one who made it down, followed by Slurg, who was assisting Rom, who was stricken rather direly in the conflict. And in that final scene, you found yourselves in a chamber where it seems like Thanash was attempting to approach an object that wanted absolutely nothing to do with him, and in fact there was an active repulsion between him and his target that created almost a force not unlike a rapid river trying to remove everybody who got close to it. And through a combined effort between the four of you, that being Slurg, Rom, Virbs, and your ally Hoshi, you were able to intercept to a degree Thanash, in that by attempts made to slow him down by both Rom and Virbs, and an actual shove in the right direction by Slurg, Hoshi was able to not only get a hold of Thanash, but also pierce his weapon through his back. And in so doing, he lost grip of the artifact he was holding, and that artifact was immediately repulsed into the far wall, and the forces of push and pull had been disrupted, having them fall forward. You all fell back, them being Thanash and Hoshi. And in a final moment of consciousness, there was a light as they were both consumed by a fire and vanished, as the rest of you were rapidly thereafter knocked unconscious by the impact. While unconscious, a great many things happened, at least in that, the most prominent of which, Slurg recalled a number of dreams that he had had in a series of events, one being the clearing of goblins from a hold, the rooting around a village for supplies, and making a grand escape from a goblin stronghold. As he sort of began to regain consciousness, though, as dreams tend to do, they began to burn away. And the more he thought about it, the less those images remained, but instead of completely vanishing, it's more like it burned away to reveal a memory that was distorted by the dream, as if his mind was trying to make sense of it and inserting pieces he understood for things that he had never seen before. And he came familiar with memories of himself, not so much clearing out goblins from a tunnel, but running from a Skay invasion upon the tunnels, in which many fellow kobolds were cut down and slaughtered, and he only himself barely managed to escape thanks to a cave-in that blocked passage from some of the Skay that were going to overtake him. And the village wasn't so much just like rooting around for things, so much as it was an act of desperation and starvation, in that him and his ally that was with him had not eaten for quite a while, and though despite the dangers of doing so, they proceeded into the village to acquire an actual meal and just barely escaped with their lives. And this had become a common occurrence, and up to the point where the final memory was that of them having been captured by the Skay and dragged into a grandiose city, where through sheer luck they had managed to break their bindings and attempted an escape that was essentially doomed from the start. But given no better option, it was all they had. And among those memories, you find yourself becoming familiar with things that you have never considered before, as the Skay were a singular entity, a singular thing, but now you have the recognition that they are a diverse set of creatures, not unlike yourselves, and that there is are humans, the prominent species, just like there are lizard folk in Kobold. There are the humans, there are dwarves, elves, and a few other names that you can barely grasp onto, but they are, however, starting to manifest themselves as memories of what these things are. And that's where you are at currently. And I would like you, Thorn to start by having Slurg make a will save. And then I'm going to move on to... I'm going to move on to Virbs.
That's a number.
It is. Virbs... I have actually gotten something to work that wasn't working last time because fuck everything. You should all have clear line of sight.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Oh, damn.
Frick. Okay.
Well,
If that's you, Virbs, you got some broad shoulders. Manly man. Envy you.
Shit.
What can I say?
I work out in the spirit realm.
No, that's probably not him so much as what he can perceive in this vision, because it isn't a clear-cut thing. This is something that is his mind is again trying to make sense of, and he has this disembodied shape before him in a piercing gaze that it's hard to describe other than a sort of intensive thought sort of a thing. There's a lot to unpack behind them, if that even needs to be said. But the gaze feels somewhat mostly on you, Virbs, but there is a distraction forming, and like last time, you understand the voice to have begun talking to you, and it began to describe what you must perceive as like two entities in the background represented by the lights that you see there.
I see.
It describes them. Let's see if I can recall how I put this.
I think I wrote it down, but let me see.
Well, let me say is the body of one is damaged, and the other reeks of my brother's pet. But between them, an able body and willing mind exist, and I can make use of it. It is odd that he will have continued, because I think that's all I gave you last time. I almost thought it would have been you, though I guess nothing is certain. Now, in this situation as it's speaking to you, you're not frozen or anything, so this is almost I don't want to call it a lucid dream, because if you start summoning things and flying around, I'm going to say no. But you have your thoughts about you. So if you don't interrupt, I believe... Go ahead.
I think at the moment, Veers would just be like, kind of nervous and kind of having one of his fists clenched, trying to understand why this is happening. Like, anxious.
Let's see. I apologize in that, to an extent. But this is how I am for the moment. Though we will be fixing it. Though you should not consider me such a stranger, as I have been with you for quite some time. Perhaps you recall the moment we first came together, before you met your allies. I recall you were with another group. Do you know of whom I speak?
He gulps and just nods.
Your allies by the river. The ones who fell. The cowards who abandoned you. And in a way, the ones to blame for everything that has come forth. When you stumbled upon me in that river, or at least the part of me that you hold, I was content to remain at rest. Even as I saw the beast that approached your party through from the river, as I saw the struggle that ensued, it was valiant, but I was content to let things be. I had served my purpose, and there really wasn't much left for me to do, I thought. And in those moments, as I watched you struggle, somehow valiantly keeping yourself alive despite the efforts of this beast, I had the time to observe. And while your actions put me at ease, I then witnessed your party, your so-called allies, standing on the shore doing nothing, content to let you fight the beast alone, and to die alone. They were cowards. And then I realized the only reason you may have been alone is that I believe you were bait for the creature. Those cowards sent you out to die alone so that they could steal the glory and attack the beast as it devoured you. And I admit, that was enraging. And you may not recall what happened next, because I may have lost my temper, and in a brief moment, through our encounter, I killed them all. I saw what has become of this land in my absence. A brief glimpse. In that moment, I was content to observe and saw how everything has come to ruin. I am no longer content to rest. And that is why I summoned you. And you have brought me everything I need to return. You must forgive me, because This has taken all the energy I have, and for a time, I must leave you. I want you, while I am gone, to remember as you travel with your allies that true power is the power you wield. You will find very quickly that in my absence, those that have regard you as allies, those that have brought you with them, they will be no more an ally than the lizard folk dead at the riverbank, your so-called allies from before. And when you realize this, and I return, I will show you how that we can restore some semblance of greatness to this world. And he is going to approach the lights that have been flickering in the distance. Are you going to add to any of this?
So from what he said, because I'm trying to type things down as he's saying them.
Yep. This is
He
why
said
we're
he's-
recording.
He said he's going to leave, but then return later.
Yes. He has suggested that the whole event, and you can almost hear this in his voice, everything that's happened up to now has been exhausting. And now that he is using the last of his energy to, or what may be a great amount of his energy to perform this final task he's about to do, he's simply too exhausted to accompany you any longer. For now.
What will become of me while you're gone?
You will be as you were before we encountered. Before you took the pendant from the waters. You will only be you.
And you'll come back for me again?
When I can. Your will and resourcefulness has proved invaluable, and without you, none of this may have been achieved. Without you, I would not have seen the decay. And I feel I must reward it. And with that, you can see him approaching one of the lights, and he casts his hand into the light. And with almost no effort, the light seems to surround his hand as he pulls what seems to be an essence from him, and it just completely engulfs his hand. And the light seems to materialize, and a body falls to the ground. Make a perception check.
Give me a moment.
With a 15, and given that this isn't way out of line of sight or anything, you have recognized it to be the body of Thanash that is materialized. And basically, as it hits shortly after hitting the ground, it almost does a Thanos fade into dust.
Can I recognize the other light?
Not as of yet. And if things progress, he begins approaching the other light. And with his other hand, he shoves his hand into the light. But unlike the first one, which was as simple as plucking a fruit out of a tree, this one resists a great deal, to the point that you see waves of light almost repulsing him, not unlike what you saw from earlier when Thanash attempted to reach the other artifact. But with the amount of effort, the same action is repeated, and with a great deal of force, he yanks out another similar light from the second source. And from that one, you can make another perception check. Though I think you might already have a good idea.
Yeah. But I'll still do the perception check.
It's a little bit hard to make it out because the image is a bit smaller, but you do recognize a kobold. And this time, instead of holding on to the essence, he simply casts it aside. And you see the same kobold form in an almost ghostly visage hit the floor and remain there. And as he grabs the kobold, he says that he's going to turn to you and say, "We will meet again in the future, and you will be more powerful than you can imagine." You have one last moment here.
I think I'm going to get closer to the fallen kobold and try to make him out better for Vir's sake.
Now, your check was already pretty good, and as you look up to see the creature grab hold of the other body with the essence he had collected earlier, he basically almost just like combines into it and then vanishes. And as you said, you approach the ghostly image.
Yeah.
Because you already got high as it was, you recognize a ghostly visage of Hoshi on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at roughly that moment, there's going to be a small burst of light when he combines the two, the essence and the body, and that's approximately when you wake up. Let's see. Why would I not have gotten that area ready? I'm a fool.
I'm on this map somewhere. I found my health bar.
I think for the moment I'll just load the whole map because evidently I fudged that up. It's been known to happen.
It's fine. That was pretty intense.
That was so loud.
You should all have vision if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. But everything's a little dark, but I see.
Well, that's why it's called dark vision. You see dark.
I'm betting you see better, though, Thorn, right?
Possibly.
Well, let's
Yeah.
I can fix that just a little bit, and it won't really hurt anything.
Oh gosh.
There's answers.
Light.
I'm guessing this isn't the place we were in before.
It's the as close as I could get.
Ah, okay.
So I need.
Okay.
I'm taking creative liberties here.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of options that fit it perfectly. But-
The moment my brain is so used to rectangular rooms that I was like with Verbs too. I was like, "There's no way this is the same place. It's a circle, even though Gates never described the shape before."
Right.
Yeah,
So,
it's a
I
little
had an
bit
idiot
bigger
moment.
than it's supposed to be, but work with me.
Mhm.
There we go.
You just make this bigger, it balances out.
All right, so Verbs, Slurg, you're kind of somewhere right now. As a matter of fact, fuck you. Verbs, you're going to be the first one that wakes up.
Oh, so I see no one here.
No, you see no one.
I think is Veer standing or did he wake up from the floor?
You woke up from the floor.
Okay, so I'll stand and look around, see no one's there. This seems to be only exit, right? This area.
That seems to be the immediate exit. You would recognize that descending stonework staircase being the way you came in and spiraled into the room.
He's going to be like breathing heavily and try to like calm his nerves because he's probably shaking. And he'll take a deep breath, and as he sees no one in the room, he is going to run out and look for Slurg and Rum.
So your first action is to remove yourself from the room and chase after, or at least the only way they could have possibly gone.
Yes.
All right. So with that, basically you are going to, after experiencing this sense of urgency, how you described it, you are going to take a step back and then immediately withdraw from the area. Slurg, make another will save.
All right. One moment. There we go. Macro 6. 13. 15 if it's versus sleep or paralysis.
So with that roll, you are going to let's see. I could bring the map up. There's not much point. You're going to basically go back the way you came. There was only one way into this chamber when you entered into it, and in the moment you recognize slightly just how much of a echo there is as you basically... Are you sprinting or walking, or how are you moving?
I'm heading back.
No, I'm talking... I'm sorry, this is for Vierbs.
Oh, okay. I never heard the character switch. Got it.
Sorry. I wanted to get that will check from you.
I think he is running.
Alright. So you basically hear this hastened footfalls of yourself as you quickly try to sprint up. You hear your breath as it just has nowhere to go, and there's this echo, this reverberation throughout the room as you quickly make yourself push on out, and you get to basically all the way to the top, and you have yet to encounter anybody, but you see the final steps that will take you into the proper upstairs chamber, and that's where you continue.
I don't hear anyone else, right? And there's no other way to go?
You can make a perception check with like a small, probably a -5 penalty because you're in a hurry. You can only hear yourself.
I will advance.
You continue to advance. You get to the top of the stairs, and you can see from there. You can see Thorn, or rather Slurg, and he is at the door, the entrance, walking out in like a rather slow walk. Besides that, you see basically the remnants of your engagement from earlier. A few overturned bits of furniture and all of that. Some disassembled armor from when the things manifested.
Is Slurg the only one I see there?
Slurg is the only one you see standing.
Okay, then I will call out to him.
Alright. Make a will save again, Slurg.
Alrighty. $20.
After you yell out, what do you do immediately, Vierbs?
I think I'm just gonna run over to him.
Alright.
As long as I recognize it as Slurg and there's no one around, then yeah.
Alright, so you begin charging out. At this point, and I'm just using this as a representative. You're not dead, because this is the closest image I have to what you may be experiencing. This experiencing for Slurg.
Oh. Okay, so it's only Rom that's dead. Got it.
Yeah, only Rom's dead.
So that makes him feel a lot better.
Yeah, so you're fine. It's only Rom that's dead.
Oh, it's again stuck at 98% loading. I'll give it time.
Yep.
There it is.
So,
ooh, pretty.
What you're seeing... So, you were actually the first one to come to consciousness, Slurg. And for a moment, you see the dimly lit area that's only the illumination by reflections off of stone and some little plants that happen to be glowing around the area because fuck, that's the map I had. But that doesn't seem to last, in that everything sort of just like before, where you had this vision where you had your dreams burn away, and there was this memory that was left over. Suddenly, you feel as if this is happening again, and the barely lit, the decayed atmosphere of this chamber seems to have an image of a warm golden glow superimposed upon it. The cobwebs, the dust, the decay, and everything for a time seems to be lifted away. And in the memory, it's recognized as a sort of, I think the word is mausoleum, in that it is a chamber honored to a being of a great significance as a burial chamber. And where there once was basically what seemed like just like a ruined chest of sorts and bone, you see an ornate, intact stone coffin. And you don't even have to make a perception check. You have the memory that this belongs to someone named Sunfield.
Sunfield. Okay.
You have the memory of, in some way, paying a respect. And then you see yourself begin to walk out of the chamber. The hallways that were dead to Vierbs a moment ago are bright and well kept. The decay, the collapse of walls, everything that made the navigation seem foreboding and treacherous is almost gone. Like, completely properly kept chamber. And as you walk out of it, you see a large collection of other people of all walks of life that you can imagine, from all species. And there seems to be a collective moment of honor as you walk out and see the city before you. What was once a complete, utter shambles, as you stand in the doorway, the exit to this temple, is illuminated by a brilliant gold light from the sun as it comes over the mountains. The most beautiful city you've ever seen. And it's hard to say that simply because you yourself don't have memory of such things. But to you, it's magnificent. Though, for a moment, you suddenly hear somebody calling your name and getting closer to you. And then in that moment, as you're looking out upon the city, again, in a Thanos sort of decay, completely just starts disintegrating to the ramparts that you know them, that are from your actual memory that you observed. And the golden glow of the sun sort of disappears into this overgrown decay. And I'm going to have you make one last will check.
Got it. 13.
You can't really stop yourself as you watch this whole thing disintegrate. And you don't know why, but you just basically fall to your knees and let out this massive guttural scream of just basic loss. And that's what Vierbs comes up on. And just as he comes up to you, because he was sprinting to you, your senses return, and you can kind of remember everything that you just saw and experienced. It's weird in how it felt. It didn't feel like any sort of compulsion or control. It just felt, I don't know. It's almost impossible to describe it other than that's just what happened.
It felt like my brain was operating normally, even though like
Some
on
sort of,
some level I know these aren't my thoughts.
yeah, if you reflect on, you know they're not yours. But it's basic, like you are now breathing kind of a thing, where if you're not thinking about it, they just feel natural. They just are.
And I want to be clear because look, the scream wasn't at being pulled out of it. It was at everything I witnessed within.
The scream wasn't because you were pulled out of it. Like, it wasn't. It was almost like a realization that this is something that brought you a great deal of pride and satisfaction, and you just watched it all decay before your eyes.
That's what I thought.
And
Okay.
that was basically shattering. Alright. So I'm going to get some maps ready, but for the meantime, at this moment, Virbs, you have encountered Slurg at the front of the temple in this manner.
Yeah, so he's screaming. And I suppose I shake him and ask, "What's wrong?"
If I have regained any
Oh, yeah.
control of myself here,
You're in control.
I probably shake my head like side to side violently as if waking myself up from some sort of just like from these unconscious thoughts and actions. I rapidly blink, trying to take in what's going on. Turn and look Virbs in the eyes. And what is Virbs' expression?
I think he's frantic.
That is definitely unlike him. This is interesting. I don't know what came for me. Where were you? Where's everyone?
I was still in the chamber. I came out here looking for you, and where's Rom Rom?
I don't know. How did I get out here?
I don't know, but I suppose you'll want to find him at some point, so let's go looking for him.
All right, we're. I hope that would be an us thing.
I just can't think straight right now. You don't have any idea where he might be?
This is the first thing I've seen since that blast. That there was a burst of light. Oh, hi, Rama. Found him.
Wrong person.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Now it's the quest to find Virbs. He
Awesome.
disintegrated.
Accidentally disappeared.
Yeah, Vano snapped.
I was Rum Rum all along.
Yeah, right. There's two people the whole time.
Hate it when you accidentally turn Rom Rom.
Wow.
It's annoying.
You're saying you don't want to be Rum Rum?
I kind of do. He's so fuzzy and sweet.
It's a
I
fuzzy
have to know,
Kobold.
I do have to know, is it just the token or is Rom Rom actually fuzzy?
My intention was fuzzy.
Oh, I love it.
The Rom Rom is the friends we made along the way.
Yes, actually,
Oh
that's
my
how he's barred.
Yeah.
That is 100% correct.
All right. So I imagine you two are kind of gonna go trying to find Rom Rom, or do you have a little bit more to discuss?
I think we should, although one thing that strikes me is this map was in the thick of night last time.
Yep.
We've been out for a while.
Yep. You do notice that quite some time has passed.
Oh gosh. He was so hurt he was so hurt last night. What was it last night? Where did all the tables go in the building?
Those were part of another map. They're still there. They're just, your memory's fuzzy right now, okay? Don't think about
As
it too
fuzzy
hard.
as Rum Rum is.
It's as fuzzy as Rom Rom's noggin.
We don't know how much time we have. Rum Rum wasn't in the best shape last time.
So just to double check, the implication is we just walked out of the building again. We didn't see him anywhere along the way.
No, well, you don't know. Vierb certainly didn't see him.
Oh, okay. I thought I was.
Oh yeah,
I
you
didn't
were
realize
walking
I was
out, but
there.
you were somewhere else entirely.
I get it. I get it.
Spacing out a little.
Yeah, I just had the connection between the map you just showed us today and this old map. I just put it together in my head how they connect.
All
So
right,
I understand now.
Yeah, I was just grabbing something real quick because that was something he's like,
That's
oh
fine.
shit, that was in Roll20.
Hey, it's totally fine. It's perfect.
You're fair.
If he's not in here, where the hell else could he even be? To us, there was only one path up the mountain, right? We should have somebody here waiting for us. We hope.
Yeah, you think there was the one person you rode up with somewhere nearby.
Yeah,
You gotta seek her out first.
I think that's a good idea because it was a treacherous pass to get up here.
All right. So you guys, unless Vierbs wants to add something else to the matter.
No, that sounds efficient.
All right. So you guys are gonna kind of just like put these thoughts into the back of your heads, and we gotta get Rom Rom first before we do anything. So you're gonna hurry on out of the temple, and meanwhile, we're going to return to Rom Rom and his situation.
That sounds like a plan.
It also sounds ominous.
Oh dear.
Is quote unquote situation. The name of the map definitely isn't intimidating.
Oh, absolutely not. It's fine. You're fine. It's nothing to worry about. All right. So, Rom Rom, and I do apologize, Doc. We will be getting to you soon. I have a lot of exposition.
He hit us with a plot dump last time, the bastard.
No worries, no worries.
So here's your situation, Rom Rom, is you've discovered yourself regaining consciousness, sort of. It feels like you're awake. Like, you could... I get a weird sensation if you try to pinch yourself or whatever, and you can feel sand beneath your feet, and you're on this small hill of sand that fades into an endless ocean, and on all sides you're surrounded by a golden light because I only have one fucking atmosphere scenery prepared. And there's sort of a peaceful tranquility to it. Almost, in a sense, mesmerizing in that you are, for the moment, content. However, that seems to fade, and you quickly snap into your senses when you hear this somewhat peculiar voice speak up, and they basically start off by going, You're the little wrecker that messed up my stuff.
How formal.
If I remember right, I think the words that you mentioned last week were,
Yeah.
so this is the criminal who steals from me.
Yeah. So that's definitely in there. Is like, so you're the little criminal that stole from me. And it's got this sort of, given the scenery, the tone seems somewhat less grandiose than you would expect. But you do definitely recognize a voice from beyond the ether speaking, and it is speaking to you. What do you have to say for yourself?
I don't know what you're talking about.
And you hear another voice. This one lower. The first one had like even though it was like this sort of grouchy, impactful sort of tone, it was definitely feminine. And then you hear a much more mild voice, a male voice, speak up. Is like, "What are you doing, Sin?" "I'm interrogating. Be quiet." "What do you mean you're interrogating? What do you... No, put it back. I'm busy!" And you feel the sand beneath you just shake violently. "What were you thinking? Stealing from me?" Are you just gonna remain quiet?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sin,
Sounds exasperated.
the male voice comes up. "Sid, you're terrifying them. Leave it alone. I thought you just wanted to look. I wanted to interrogate him." And all of a sudden, you're going to see this goddamn horizon start to vanish. And you feel it's like this weird sound, and you swear you hear, you don't know that what plastic is, but it sounds like there's plastic ripping as this whole facade before you is completely ripped away, and you see an angry kitsune just staring at you through a glass, and a giant tortoise creature face palming behind her is, "You've removed the packaging! Why did you remove the packaging?" I needed a better look at him. Just going to be quiet. You have nothing to say for yourself, you little thief.
Amram blanks at the both of them in confusion. Like, what are the two of you?
Let's see, where was it?
Like,
oh, that's right. I put in a different folder because this is different. So, all of a sudden, the landscape has changed. The scenery has torn away, and you recognize these two creatures, and they are wearing an Asian Oriental sort of robe shit. And the whole style, you find yourself in what looks like a living area almost, with Oriental furniture. You see a giant paper wall and a Zen garden outside, and if you look close enough, you see lines in the sand that you wouldn't know this, but out of character, you're familiar with the lines that are drawn through Zen guards, and they're just continuously sort of forming and reforming and making all these circular patterns around rocks and trees and this sort of thing. And even the terrain itself sometimes shifts and resets and patterns change. And you see shelves, quite a few of them lined with jars. And you can't quite make them out because they all have a sort of a colored wrapper around them, but you swear there are things in them, like people, as far as you can tell. And this vixen is just like glaring a death glare at you through the jar. You realize that she is probably 100 times your size, and you're just this little thing in a jar to her. Sin, the turtle thing says. It's like, put it down. You've done enough damage. I thought you just wanted to look. And now you're interrogating? It's like, I got this. He's gonna tell me why. He's gonna tell me how he messed up everything. Do you understand? I was supposed to be dealing with one of the last Dragon Warriors. Like, real Dragon Warriors. There's gonna be more, but this one was special. I had a spot for him. It's like, you don't keep them, Sin. You just move them. He wasn't going to be here long. I don't know why you have this possessive nature. You don't keep them. You transport them. It's like, it was mine. It was my moment. And he stole it. Alright. Let me refresh your memory. And she shakes the jar a little bit. You feel your feet shift underneath you. And it's like, do you recall a little event where these two, the Chaos Lord, I don't know what the hell his model's called, and the Dragon Warrior were supposed to fight, and the Dragon Warrior's supposed to die, and he was supposed to come through here, and yes, she turns the turtle, I was supposed to transport him, right? But in the meantime, I would have been able to see a Dragon Warrior up close, and you fucked it up! God! Now, how long am I gonna have to wait? I don't even know if I should keep the spot up there. She's gonna come through eventually. And she seems just kind of disappointing and almost pouting a little bit as she looks at, like, this jar up in the corner, an empty one.
Dragon Warrior?
Fucking, what was it called? God, Filbert, what was it called? It was Hoshi, you bastard. What did you say? Nothing, I'm just frustrated. Do you have anything to eat? I haven't eaten. It's like, there's... Oh, and she points off in a direction. Is like, I got some snacks in the back. Don't take any of the sealed ones or the game later, alright? Just take the open bag. It's like, alright, I'll fucking grab the snacks. And the giant turtle turns around, and as he turns around, you see on his back he has, like, not like a living thing, but like an actual painted on map of his, on the back of his turtle shell, like a tattoo almost. And he kind of moseys off into the back room. Like, you know what I'm talking about now. She turns her attention back to you. Is like, how did you do it? Why did you mess that up? They were supposed to fight, damn it! It was gonna be great.
I didn't do anything though.
You talked him out of it! He ran off! That was the opposite of what was supposed to happen, but you had to go and use this velvet voice of yours, and now I don't have any new parts of my collection. They're not your collection. You transport them. Shut up!
What else was I supposed to do? Rum suddenly speaks up, like indignant.
You weren't supposed to do that. I don't know. I don't freaking plan out everything you do, but you aren't supposed to do that.
And what are I I, I don't know what you are, but
Sit.
we're
And
we're not just things for you to play with.
I'm playing. This is a very important job, all right? I move souls around, and just because it's part of my job doesn't mean that I can't enjoy it. And I get to see all sorts of cool things. And I was supposed to have this one, and then you went and messed it up. And I am upset, even though it was kind of cool that you did that. And you basically see the turtle come back into the room with what looks like a celestial bag of Doritos.
Shakes his head, trying to process any of what's happening in front of him. He goes, "So you know of Hoshi, and you know of Internash. Where are they?
I don't think.
And where's Slurps? And where's Slurg?
Well, I'll tell you.
Where are my friends?"
I'll tell you all of that. I'll tell you. They're not here. If they were here, we wouldn't be having a conversation. But they're not here, and that's your fault. And I'm sorry. I'm gonna get over it, but I had to get that out of my system. And the turtle is going to pop open the bag of Doritos, and she's gonna turn. I told you not to open up anything new. There were open bags over there. And the turtle's just gonna look back. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, if you can go ahead and open up the soul packages all you want and contaminate somebody's, like, frickin' eternal being, I can open up a fresh bag of chips. God damn it. Fine. Whatever. It's already open.
And why am I here?
Well, you're
I'm
here.
doing stuff though.
Oh.
Where is here, anyways?
Well, it's complicated. Think of it kind of like, you know, a hub, transport hub, you know, sort of a thing. Like, we move shit from here and there, you know, for where they're supposed to be. You're kind of in limbo, I guess is the best way to put it, right? Is when somebody is not quite dead, but not quite alive, we kind of got to put them somewhere until, like, you know, everybody does their paperwork and we figure out what we got to do for you. And I guess you'd call it a Reaper of Souls, and I'm supposed to kind of, you know, like, ferryman style everything where it's supposed to be. So, congratulations, you're at a way station, I think, right? That's what it's called? I don't know. What century were you born in again? It doesn't matter.
Has almost no idea what they're talking about.
Listen, alright. I'm just going to tell you, right, that what you did was really kind of cool, right? You basically went around and, you know, through a little bit of like Silver Tongue, have completely changed face. It screwed me over, right? But your ability to make connections, like by connecting, like, Hoshi and Thanash for that brief moment when they were supposed to kill each other, right? There's no doubt about it. They were, like, somebody was supposed to die, right? And neither one did, because you have this cool ability to make connections. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to see you, because that was kind of neat. And she's gonna kind of smile at you through the jar.
And an ability to make connections.
Yeah. See, you don't get it because you're just, like, immortal here, but you basically have rewritten everything, right? Through your shenanigans, and that's kind of, like, shaking up a lot of shit, which is why I think it's cool. Like, it pissed me off personally because you shook up my shit too. But in the grand scheme of things, it shook up a lot of stuff. And when I step back for a second and look at it, it's like, that's kind of neat. And she's getting close. Is like, I kind of want to show you something. Something that'll be a lot of fun.
Rom looks up at her giant face. Do I have a choice?
Well, I guess you could just die.
I would not that.
Yeah.
Rom adds quickly.
Yeah, it's most people don't, but somehow they're
Hmm.
still here. Like, and this like the turtle's just like kind of grumbling a little bit. Just stop contaminating. Put it back into the packaging. You had your look. Please. It's like, I got this, Phil. It'll be fine. I'm gonna teach you something really, really, really cool. And Phil is kind of given up, and you see him kind of like turn on his own music for a little while. You can kind of hear that in the background starting to go. As Phil kind of tunes you and Sin out. So there was this like really cool thing that people on your continent kind of figured out. When I say people, like person figured out on your continent, and they've sort of forgotten about it. Like a few hundred years like of decay kind of does that, but I kind of want to show you what they did because it goes along with this whole thing, this whole theme of yours of making connections and disrupting stuff. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add to that, if that's okay, Phil. And Phil stopped caring a while ago. He's just listening to his shit. That's all right. So there's this little skill, and she's gonna like take the jar. She's gonna walk out onto like the deck outside the paper walls, and she's going to tilt the jar upside down. You're gonna like fall right out of this onto the ground, and now that you're outside it, you find yourself a more normal size, but you still probably only come up to about her thighs or so, like your little tiny kobold. And Phil is, God, why are you making this worse? It's like, don't mind, Phil, it's all right. This is gonna be great. I'm making it better. Damn it. And she's gonna turn to you. It's like, okay, so I want to show you just how crazy the power of connections can get. Because not only can you bring people together, but you can bring places together. And that's, kind of like bringing people together, but, more grandiose. There's a lot of rules to it and how you make it work, because there's, like, several things you need to make this work, right? First, the connection has to be prepared, right? The place that you're going to connect to. If it's not prepared, not ready, you can't do it. You need to have an artifact from that place that will connect you to it. Most people usually get a plant. That's pretty simple. So if you have like a plant from that area, that will let you make a connection. There are other things, but they're more obscure. Then the last thing is you need a clear memory of the place you want to make the connection with. You follow me so far? Little thing?
Rom nods his head.
Good, and she pats your head.
Mhm.
I didn't think kobolds were fuzzy. That's adorable. I'm glad I stole you. And as she's giving this lecture, I want you to make a perception check.
I can find it. Where's it? Where is it? Am I blind? I think I'm blind.
It's all right. I am being really weird right now, so just take
It's
your
an
time.
alphabetical order under skills, I think.
I'm blind too. I get it. It's the late.
All right. So with a 7 perception, I'm going to ask you to make a roll of 1d20. Just roll a 1d20. and then make a performance check with a -5 disadvantage.
Okay, so roll a 1d20.
Got a 3. Good that.
And then you said performance with a -5.
Yep. So that's about a 12.
Did I go correctly?
So, yep, you're good. This was a special kind of performance check. So, as she's talking, you kind of pick up on the music that the turtle Phil is listening to, and it's kind of hard to hear over Sin because Sin is like just excitedly going on about this, and she's using a lot more words than she needs to explain things. She seems to be in her own head a lot. But I feel kind of catch your attention because as an artist, you're innately drawn to musical things, and you can hear particularly that he has started like sing along with whatever it is that he's listening to, and you can't understand the lyrics to it because you've never heard the language that this is in before. You, from your performance check, you recognize that these are that the music itself is composed with very unusual instruments, and there's a lot of impact to them, a lot of force and a lot more creativity in like just sort of spread of sounds than you're used to ever having heard. And it almost sounds like a rather intense sort of tragedy. Like, even though you don't understand the words, you can understand how the sound is strung together, that it is trying to tell some sort of story in that sense. And with a 3, you pick up one of the lines that he says, and the line is let me double check because I want to make sure I got the right one. The line you hear him mutter is, and he does this in common instead of whatever it's written in, is, "They have managed to demolish whatever we made." And after that, either he gets quieter or Sin gets louder, but you can't make out anything else with a 7 perception. And then, like, Sin is gonna kind of give you a bit of a look, and she's gonna realize, like, Phil has started singing, and she's gonna turn around and yell at Phil! What? Stop singing! Is like, what? It's Sendwave. You love Sendwave. It's like, yet not when he's out of his packaging. It's like, what the hell are you worried about? It's like, you're going to mess things up. He doesn't need to know that shit. I'm sorry. I guess maybe you shouldn't have taken him out of the packaging and teaching him forbidden druidic arts. I might have some cultural contamination going on there, Sin. I deeply apologize. And he kind of just, like, turns down his music. And Sin is gonna go back to his, like, don't worry about him. They're not forbidden. They're just ill-advised. Like, it's fine. So after that, are you going to follow her as she begins to kind of show you this thing? This only slightly ill-advised, not forbidden druidic arts?
Given that the supposed other alternative would be Wormrum dying, Wormrum will try to focus on whatever it is that they're doing.
If you want, there's a sense motive in Pathfinder, correct?
Insight.
Insight, there it is. You can roll an insight if you like.
Everyone's okay, not rolling insight.
You don't want to know if she was serious about killing you.
That is fair.
Alright. So basically, what's going to happen is you're going to kind of go through a short training montage where you're going to go out into the Zen garden, and by the paths drawn through the sand, making connections from one point to another, she's going to demonstrate that this is the method in which people and places are connected to each other, and if you kind of learn how to do this, you can do this cool thing of connecting places given the 3 criteria. And she's gonna ask you real quick, so what were the 3 criteria I told you need to make a connection?
Is it a connection must be prepared, an item from the place, and a clear memory of the place?
That's close enough. I said a plant, but it could be an item too. Something with a strong connection to the area.
Okay.
Yep. So after that, and she's going to demonstrate, and you're going to see an image that she opens up through the sand, and you're going to see your body on the ground, basically bandaged up, and you're gonna see yourself surrounded by 2 people looking over you. But as you get a closer look, it is not Slurg or Verbs that are standing over you. And it's like, we're gonna start by connecting you to your body. I figured that might be worth something, right?
Nods.
And with that, the 2 of you are going to go through a training montage of breaking Zen sand to change the world. And Phil is going to help by staying out of the way and eating celestial Doritos. All right. Now, I don't have an area for that prepared, so we're just going to go sit in the tavern and roleplay this out. And last we heard, I have, let's see. I apologize, brain fart. I have a gentleman standing with, I believe her name was Tank. And let's see. How do we want to make this introduction here? Let's just start out, because I think the players need to be the ones to see the engagement. So Verbs and Slurg, without too much effort, you are going to find both Tank and this other gentleman standing over Rom, who seems to be getting some sort of bandaging and treatment. I mean, I should have made you roll perception, but I didn't, so there it is. Let's see, and I am going to say that, Doc, you notice these 2 approaching. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Have I been watching them beforehand?
I'm going to say that they're disoriented, so and you probably would have seen him in there. But the series of events that happened that you are aware of is that you were nearby doing the business that we discussed,
Right.
and you were probably approached by Tank, who you would recognize as an NPC fish person. Like, I believe, was she, did I say fish or frog the other day? I can't remember.
I think you said frog.
Yeah, frog.
It would be a little awkward
Well, she
for a
lives
fish person.
underwater. But
Okay.
she
If it was a fish person, given that
kind of, well, I
we
just get
eat a lot of fish,
yeah, right. It's like,
yeah,
I just get to say frog.
that would
For,
be safe.
yeah, it's frog safe.
Don't want
I
us to be awkward or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like
you'll say
mhm,
frog. Yeah, right. That'd be
yeah.
funny. That'd be really funny, actually. No, fish eat fish. You be quiet.
Yeah.
It's okay. She just doesn't like your nets.
Yeah.
But no. So she would have encountered you and gotten your assistance, and you've come onto the scene of this small kobold who seems to have been pretty grievously wounded in a fight, and part of your kit that we put together is a
Yeah.
healing kit, so you've been applying part of that, and I think at the part time of the encounter she probably would have paid you a few coins. I don't know if the players saw that or not, but it is part of what is going on. So you're rendering aid via your materials to this little person.
All right.
And you see these two rather disoriented kobolds approaching you.
Well, hello, friends. You're going to need to give me a minute. I'm working over here, but I will see you very shortly. Why don't you take a seat? Because you look like you're a little unstable there.
I think I'm dying just as much out of character as in character. I was not expecting this.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tone shift there, right?
Oh.
There was a tone shift during the whole Rom Rom arc, but somehow this has gotten to me more. He's a literal Doc's a literal Doc.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, then.
I'm more than just a doc, good friend, but let's just finish patching up here. How are you feeling down there, my tiny friend?
Rom Rom is, I guess, still a little bit. No, I think at this point, like, it'd just be easier to have him kind of coming to, like, just to expedite things a little bit. And,
Now, you do know you get your money back if he dies. You don't get your money back if he dies, right?
Doesn't get money back. Oh, there is something critical I need to tell to Rom Rom just before he heads back, because I guess for some reason I didn't think he'd teleport back so soon, so quickly. I'm foolish like that. So Rom Rom, just like you feel yourself getting to the point where you can like return to your body, like the montage went well. She's going to tell you one more thing, or talk, or at least speak with you one more time, because it's kind of like a mess of things. First off, you're not going to really clearly remember a lot of what happened up here. Like, she's going to repackage you as best she can, and a lot of the memories are going to be wiped, with the exception of what she taught you. And simply because music has a way of sticking with you, you might remember a little bit of what your interaction with Phil. But she's going to tell you that she's going to have somebody assist you, should you be able to figure out how to make the connection once you're back, because this depends on you being able to figure it out. If you can make the connection, go on the night of the second day, and she will have an ally assist you. if you go back immediately, if you figure it out and you go back any earlier than that, you may meet. She gives you the strong impression that you will both meet again a lot sooner than either of you want to.
Sorry. So somebody will be assisting to make the connection, and then
So if you can make the connection and use it, if you can figure it out, because you have everything you need to make your first connection. Between you and your allies, you have everything you need to make the first connection. And if you manage to figure it out, do not use it until night of the second day. If you use it any earlier, you will probably die, or at least be in for a really bad time. If you do wait until the second night, she will try to have somebody else with a rather strong connection meet with you and assist you on this whole journey, this whole path that she has kind of sent you on.
what do I try to make a connection to?
You'll know when it happens. Just remember the 3 things that you need.
I'm out of character realizing that if you just gave canon purpose to something I've been holding since day 1, I'm going to scream. But I'm pretty sure you did. So anticipate the scream.
Shit.
You're so happy right now.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see if you figure it out first.
Well, it would it would depend on if Ramon gives me the information. I can't sit here and do this shit out of character. I can just tisk at you for it.
I can undo everything that happened. You want that whole situation to be non-canon? Would you like a more traditional afterlife?
Do your thing.
Alright. So, as you're sent on, those are what she imparts upon you. Is remember the 3 things you need in order to create a connection.
Okay.
And do not, once you create the connection, starting from right now, not like as soon as you figure it out, but starting from right now, do not use it until the night of the second day. If you use it any earlier, you will probably die.
Okay.
And that's the warning. All right. So, with that, Ram, you are going to wake up to mostly familiar faces and then some not familiar faces.
He's conscious. I'm pretty sure that counts.
Ramam's
He's
eyes
alive.
kind of like blink awake, and he takes like a massive gasp of fresh air.
Yep, I did it. See? In one piece. You're welcome.
Yep.
Just keep taking those breaths in. You'll be fine. You're all patched up. Now you two over here. How are you doing today? My name is Mr. Chant. It is a pleasure to meet you today. Is there any services you require?
We just needed to see if our friend was okay.
You talking about the little guy over there?
The fuzzy one.
The fuzzy one. Yep, that qualifies. Yeah, he's fuzzy. Can confirm that
He
for
counts.
canon. He is very fuzzy.
Just as the dragon made him.
Yes.
Tank is
Uh,
there.
Are they with you too? The tank?
Oh, yes. They needed a ride into the temple and got a little bit loud in there. And when I went to check in on them, is like there was a lot of unconscious, and then this one was in dire straits. So that's why I sought you out to apply for your medical expertise, such as it is.
Are you flatter?
I know.
Ah. Now then, yeah, I would say you look like a bunch of out of towners. What brings you to these parts?
They were with Hoshi. I didn't see
Hoshi?
Hoshi. You would recognize Hoshi as one of the guards. The like he's probably a high status warrior guard sort of peacekeeper thing. He's one of the Knights of the Dragon's Order. And he was up there, and he's actually had a history of working with outsiders, so that might not be too shocking. As a matter of fact, as part of our discussion, is like you've been assisting him as you are able in his attempts to like in his personal endeavors
Right.
in regards to outsiders.
Well, you should have said you were friends of Hoshi's. You would get a special discount with me.
Who exactly are you charging?
Who am I charging?
It's okay. I took care of it. Like I wasn't going to fuddle around the cost. I'll just have Hoshi pay me back if it really becomes an issue. I'm not quite sure where he ran off to. Did you part ways somewhere in the temple? I never saw him leave.
Wait, did you lose him?
I lost track of him. I thought he was in the temple with them, but I didn't see him. I only saw the three of them, and then the state they were in, I didn't exactly look around too much.
Yeah, given your state, is Hoshi okay?
That's a good point.
He is a dear friend.
My meal friend.
Doc, I love this.
Oh, thank you.
We're not sure where Hoshi went.
I'm sorry, you're not sure?
I guess none of us are really sure. Do you know what direction he went?
I try to contort my arms to somehow imply a fourth dimension, but it's not possible.
Is he okay? What is he doing with his arms? I don't. Are you all right?
Or maybe views went all left or all up or down. There was a flash and he was gone.
Gone.
As was Thanash, that fellow we were chasing, the one that snatched that artifact and grew wings.
Tank is gonna look over to Mr. Chant and is like, they were some the Nash came into town and was apparently causing some problems, and they went to right it along with Hoshi. And are you saying they're missing?
They vanished. Whatever was in that temple tried to keep everyone away. It was incredible force, and we got Hoshi up there. I think he stabbed Thanash through, but then there was a flash and they disappeared, and the next thing that feels real was me at the temple entrance.
Feels real?
I can.
What do you mean by that feels real?
I think the DM is trying to say something.
No, go ahead.
I don't know. I had some. I must have been unconscious. I had some strange dreams, I guess.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Hoshi and a man holding a very expensive artifact, I'm guessing, disappeared in a flash of light, and you have no idea where they went to, but they are not here.
Hoshi did have a way of vanishing, if I remember, but not like that.
He's rubbing his temples, just like, oh god. Alright. Well, you two appear to be in a state. So, how about this? Help you get a little pep in your step, and then we will go find Hoshi, and we will fix this problem so it does not become an issue in the future. Alright? That sounds great, right?
He will give us money.
Can we get, and maybe you described it and I missed it, can we get a good visual on...
What your character looks like?
Sure thing.
I can.
I'm scrolling in, I see what was made in Hero Forge here, but I'm not, Okay, so I see it's a lizard folk, because if the game were unpaused and I could move my token, I see there's a size difference.
Is I forgot to look up the pronunciation, but it was like the snake folk.
Juanti?
Oh, the 1T.
Yeah, let me.
Oh,
I
you get to
have.
play 1T, NB?
And wanting.
Envy.
Oh, I appeal that.
Let me see if I still have that.
I forget if we discussed my cart. Is it like a step-in cart? I'm assuming, like one that I have like a door that I can.
I just assumed like a pull cart, but it could absolutely be that. Like
All right,
I left
I
it
will-
open to like whatever you thought your character
All
would
right.
have.
I would prefer a cart that I could like shut a door on.
Oh yeah, so like one of them gypsy cart kind of things.
Yeah, basically.
Whoa, using that racist term in here.
Oh no.
Sorry.
And it's recorded. Oh god.
It's terrible. Like what? All right. What's
The
the
views
term?
of Gates do not represent the views of the players.
Oh, for fuck's sake! What's the term? That's just what I know. I didn't know that was like a bad word. I thought it was a thing.
It started losing
It's-
favor in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Neat. What's the proper term?
Just say where the person's from.
Cart house.
Cart house. This is mobile home.
My mobile home.
Oh shit. Fuck. Where did I put that damn picture? I'll find it sooner or later.
I was about to say I have it on Discord. I can just send it.
Oh yeah, go ahead, just send it.
Uh,
I thought I had the file. I'm trying to remember like where I sorted it, and I think I actually shoved it into the Foundry.
I was about to say I have the 3D model. Where can I post it in the?
Just general LM would be good.
Okay. Bop, bop, bop.
That sounds like that sounds like the sausage little song at the end. What's it called? The daily sausage or ordinary sausage. That's what it was.
I don't even know that.
All right, I can get behind that look. I dig it. Also,
Thank
the entire party is still red.
It is the best color.
If guest 2 isn't red as well, I'm gonna riot.
You're gonna riot, but not because he's red.
So given the state of the other two, I would imagine Mr. Chant is probably going to quote unquote create that special thing he's known of making.
Oh, absolutely. I
Yes.
think he got the material to make 2 of them.
Yep. So he will go into his cart and make those out of sight and return in with a two cups of his special.
I trust this implicitly.
As you should. What sort of businessman would I be if I'd killed my customers? But this one is on the house. To show that I'm on the level, of course. You know, besides fixing your friend or whatever.
Is Tank still here?
Tank didn't go anywhere.
I'm gonna gauge Tank's reaction. I want to read this situation, my man, if I may, and you can tell me I'm not supposed to roll, but
Oh no,
if
that's
I
fine.
can,
The thing about Tank is like you've gathered that Tank is like pretty much likes everybody that is a lizard folk, because everybody that exists, the impression you got, exists because her Lord and Savior chose that they exist and they have a purpose. So whatever his purpose may be, her Lord and Savior, the dragon, has decided it is important. So because that's true, he is important to her, and he is awesome.
well, okay, then I looked at the wrong person with that sense of Welp, sure. What's it taste like, Mr. Chan?
I wait for someone else to taste it.
It is unique, bitter, but will give a pep in your step. I can assure you, everyone in the town would speak very highly of it if we were closer to it.
Having sucked it down, does the pep in my step kill me?
If Tank speaks up, it's like, if I recall, I think Hoshi was fond of it. Was that not the case, Mr. Champ?
Oh no, he loved it. Everyone loves it. Haven't heard a complaint yet.
Hey.
Well, damn, I'm glad I drank it if the honored person of the Dragon Guard had it.
Right?
Which isn't really a thing Slurg says. Slurg is, he's looked over, he's gotten no sign of don't do it, and he likes food. So yeah, he slurped that sucker down.
Liquid is a form of food.
Delicious?
Oh, see, I knew
By the
it.
way, I sent you a message on the side gates.
Oh, okay. Let me look for that.
Right, but if I'm dead by the end of the session, I know where you live, Doc.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we're gonna visit.
Yeah!
That's all it is, a visit.
So, what's everybody doing besides taking up some homebrew?
Licking my lips after having sucked down that homebrew.
Mm-hmm.
Or what the Kobold equivalent of lips.
I think they have
Kobold
lips.
lips. So is it decided that you were going to try to find Hoshi?
I mean, I certainly would like to.
If they legitimately, they're talking like, oh, nothing's wrong, we can totally find this out, so sure. Why not?
I imagine that at some point, and this is a huge oversight on my part, it has settled down, but that activity in the mountains is still there. The activity that I described to you guys the last session before we started doing the break.
You mean when we discussed like trying to like check in where we first found the Nash in here?
Yeah, well, the volcanic activity.
Yes.
The mountains seem to be.
Yeah, we
a little bit
discussed that maybe like what we did find, like the artifact that did remain, we should put that back.
Yeah.
It's possible Hoshi went there, but it probably wouldn't take us long to search this place and then head down there if we don't find him.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So you're gonna start. So where are you starting your search exactly? You starting it outside here, right where they brought Rom, or somewhere nearby?
I would think we would look inside real fast, just in case like they're acting like, oh well, maybe it's normal. Maybe you guys just overlooked something. I thought it was we check inside real quick, and then if I were Hoshi, and just stopped somebody from stealing a goddamn artifact, I would head back to where the activity is, although it would be highly suspicious that Hoshi would have left the artifact behind for us to hold on to.
Alright.
Which, to check, we were able to just get our hands on it. In the before you retconned things by 5 minutes, we wrenched it out of the wall. Is that still a safe assumption that we can do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have it.
And
Mhm.
you can you didn't. None of you did that yet, but you can go back and do that much.
Oh,
further.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was one of the things that was like.
Oh, yeah, no,
not-
you were all knocked unconscious, and then you just kind of woke up.
Yeah,
and-
it occurred to me that because of the 5-minute retcon, we didn't do that. We should do it. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
I didn't
go
realize
in
that that was a thing we hadn't done.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in there and it would try to. I think I've still got the highest strength in the group. I can't speak for Mr. Chant, even though it's not that high a strength.
It's not.
Like I have we had a group of kobolds, so I mean I had a 12, and it's like, yep, you're the strong one. But I will attempt to get my hands on that thing and try to wrench it out of the wall. It's just typing excitedly.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Cool.
So you're gonna go back to the room then.
Yeah, we're gonna go back because we need to check for Hoshi and we need to get that artifact out of the wall.
All right. So let's see. Alright, so I dropped you all in there, just to throw you in there. And you're going to look, and I'm just going to, for the most part, go over a few things. First off, Slurg, the item I gave you, you're going to, at the end of the last session when I gave you the introduction of what's going on there, you're still going to have that,
Okay.
the pendant.
Sure. Let me see if I put that in my inventory. And this is distinct from the one that's around my neck.
It is distinct in that it seems to be like untarnished by time. You think that had the other one not suffered like the elements, they could be identical.
Okay. Got it. I will make a note of that in my inventory. Duplicate item, and then I'll just edit this one too. Remove the worn down part.
You've also acquired the artifact that you pry out of the wall. I will say that it appears to have been cracked.
That's gonna lose some value.
Mending will fix that. That's mending works on magic items, right? Not that Slurg has any fucking idea what mending is.
Might. Who knows?
I'll kind of analyze it, and I'll let the group know it definitely looks like it's been damaged.
Can I look it over with an Arcana check?
Sure.
All right, it's knowledge Arcana. Boop.
So while you're the knowledge that you've collected on the Arcana is limited to what you might have access to. You still have like an open mind, able to decipher a lot of things, and as far as you can tell, that this has basically the power to focus and redistribute arcane energies in a number of manners. And because, like, with crystals such as these, how they're cut really kind of determines how they reflect, amplify, focus, or whatever energy, that this may have been altered from the impact and it's hard to tell that it will have maintained its original arcane function. And there seems to be more to it than simply the focusing of energies and such. Um, there's the it's hard to say. It does definitely have that feel of the energy that you have felt before that permeated this whole area. Um, and probably you didn't drink that stuff, did you?
No.
All right, that's good. You probably think that it may have a tie to the insomnia that everybody's been suffering from lately. Like as you get closer to it, you feel like a little bit of vigor and restoration within you. Like if any sort of groggy feeling that you might have had from or fatigue is just sort of evaporated a little bit. So there's some sort of life component going on to this. At least that you can tell with a 26. So it's more than just, there's more components to this than arcane. But that's probably all that I can think to tell you at this given moment. Just that its original function may have been altered. It's tied to the energy that was permeating the area. The energy contains a life element to it, as well as the ability to store, transform, or otherwise manipulate arcane energy. That good enough?
Yeah. I'll get into the notes some more later so I can remember everything you said.
You might also, without much effort, notice and this will be, we'll probably answer a few of your questions, remain of inventory where Thanash and Hoshi fell. So that might answer a few questions.
Say again?
You find what seems to be remains where Thanash and Hoshi had fallen.
Oh, can I check that out?
Absolutely. Would you like to approach it?
Yeah.
So you approach, and as you get closer, there's no perception necessary, as you recognize this as just pure equipment. Like you see common clothes, you see rations, small bags, you see the weapons, backpack, bread rolls, so a lot of pouches that Thanash used to carry around with him with all sorts of herbs and little tricks in them. All that is just lying on the floor, clean and undisturbed by any sort of person, body, or remnants of such.
It's like their physical forms are gone. And their effects did not go with them.
Can we get him back, though?
Let's see. What do I have? Oh, I don't remember what I had prepared last time.
What are you trying to remember?
I'm trying to remember what I had prepared last time, like when we last began this game.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, because before I had set my spells up based on the quote unquote non canons. So I'm trying to remember what I had.
You can use your best knowledge. If you're off by a point, I'm not overly concerned.
So I
as
was
long as you keep in
thinking-
mind what I told you originally.
Yeah, I was thinking I would have had detect magic prepared.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So I'm going to detect it's a cantrip, so I'm just gonna cast detect magic around where they disappeared. Well, I'm gonna detect magic on myself rather. I get to look around and check out all the shizness.
All right.
Any magical auras?
Now I'm still studying magic a little bit. That's why I made the wizard in Sero's game so I can learn more about it. So I am gonna be as accurate as I can with how I feel this will work. So you can basically see magical energies and identifying them to a degree, correct?
Yes, it says you detect magical auras. The amount of information revealed depends on how long you study a particular area or subject. In the first 6 seconds, which is around, you detect the presence or absence of magical auras. Second round is the number of different magical auras and the power of the most potent aura. And the third round is the strength and location of each aura, and if the items or creatures bearing the auras are in line of sight, I can make a knowledge arcana check to determine the school of magic involved in each.
So what you're gonna see that I can, as best as I can figure, is that you will see that from the impact of where the dragon's heart impacted, that there will be burns in the wall, and you recognize that they are of an arcane nature. And the longer you study it, it seems that it is various degrees of elemental magic in a sense. I don't think elemental's a school or anything, but you get the sense that this is like raw form that is responsible for what you might, I don't know if you've encountered them or heard about them, but this is like the same stuff that creates elemental monsters and shit like that.
It's like almost primal.
Yeah,
or
so
wild.
it's like a primal magic, and you can, even studying the walls, the way the burns kind of go from like, you know, heat to shock to just like lumps in the wall from like impact and bludgeoning and all that sort of thing. It's like there's like multiple forms of just raw magic, primal magic involved, and it's as if when it impacted, it unleashed a great deal of energy, and unique to you. The others wouldn't have noticed this, but you can see some of that same remnant in your own your pendant that we've been talking about. You see that same energy in there, and if you look around, you might notice that there are like points, small subtle points all around the area where it looks like little discharges have just like disintegrated into bits of the room here and there, like specks or dust or something. And one of those seems to have impacted you and your pendant, and that might be why some things are going on.
What about among the people in our current party?
The people in your current party. Again, this is unique to you. Are you're studying? You're going up to like each person, giving them a look.
It's got a range of 60 feet, so I don't have to stand too close.
Yeah. So, Rom, you're not really getting anything off of. Thorn, however, as Slurg, you are seeing some of that same energy, just remnants of it, on his person, which almost makes sense considering he was probably the closest to it without fucking disintegrating. So it almost makes sense that he bore some of that that impact, and it almost makes sense that you might have been impacted too, since you were much further away. So it's hard to pick up like where Slurg might have been hit. Since it's much stronger on him, it's you almost get it from his whole person. But that's what you uncover. And Mr. Chant, you're just watching Veer stare at people for a little while from afar. It's like, how's your confidence in your new group of allies going?
Typical
You see, like,
Verbs.
Yeah, just
disintegrated corpse and like a lot of glaring.
I mean, just kind of letting them work at the moment because they have a better idea on this than he does. So
Fair enough.
he's hoping for the best news, but like his comment of he can come back, right? He was hoping for an answer to that.
Well, you don't see Hoshi, but you see his stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna collect these things and hold on to them for when he comes back, because he will come back, I'm sure. So I'll just take these with me.
I would I would prefer if you didn't grab
No?
these. They
No.
may have some magical aura around them, so I can perhaps sense exactly what happened.
Okay. We'll wait for your conclusion then.
He seems to know things always. And if you're waiting for any further elaboration, it really doesn't come.
I was like, it's just kind of staring at him from a things. I don't. All right.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, if he'd tell me, I could explain further.
Right.
But we'll see. Maybe after our near-death experience, maybe we'll get a slightly more telling verbs.
One thing Verbs will talk about is what magical essence he finds from where the two had fought. Where Dinesh and what's his name? Hoshi had fought.
It seems like much of the same. It seems like there's this raw primal energy had emanated a great deal from that particular area. You can see a few more impacts of where it might have left residue and such. On most of the items and such, I know you were looking at those. It seems like they were impacted, but like unlike what you saw on your pendant and on Slurg, most of those have just like done some damage and burned away, almost similar to the walls and all that. So it's just like a light residue. Whatever is going on with you two is a little bit more sticking. Are you how close a look are you getting? Because I know that Mr. Chant collected those items and he's gonna hold on to them purely out of concern for Hoshi and that other guy. Like,
Other guy.
Did you collect stuff for that other guy too, Mr. Chan, or just Hoshi shit? Because there are two piles.
Does anything look valuable in that pile?
If you make an appraise check.
All right. Where is the appraise check?
Under
skills,
A.
and then they're alphabetized. So it would be early. While he's making the check, I want to confirm. You said that not eroded medallion, the new one that I found where the text is on the back, and I just can't translate it. That was just like in my hand or something after I came to.
Yeah, so you still have that. You still
Okay,
have.
well, I was more
and-
curious about where it was when I came to. So it was in my hands. I was
Yeah,
gripping it.
it seems like the idea is that when you gave Hoshi the shove, you might have torn that off of his person or something.
Is this a public roll, by the way?
Oh, okay.
It's a public role,
Okay.
but like we can make it private if you're concerned.
Oh,
And,
no,
like if
that's
you,
fine.
I guess I should say, in the future, if you want to keep stuff to yourself, like if you want to be that guy,
Yeah.
and Verbs can't complain, you can definitely do
How dare
private
you.
roles. Appraise 14. So if you're trying to appraise Thanash's materials, the materials he have you appraise as a collection of a well-traveled individual. This is somebody that was prepared to be on his own for long tracks of time. You can tell in the way that he has a well-prepared rations and his weapon. He had weapons on him that were, while not ornate, were appropriate for somebody that was just trying to get through in a denser area. As far as you can imagine, it's not like. But I mean, you've gone into some forays yourself in order to gather ingredients, so you can appreciate some of it. And he does.
Do you need
seem-
this stuff?
He does seem to have like a collection of herbs and little accessories that you'd have to tinker with, but there you might have an appreciation of, considering that some of your best concoctions have come from herbage and in small ingredients from the forest. So you might be interested in what kind of tricks he's come up with.
Okay. Do you need all of this stuff, including this one over here?
Why are you so interested in holding on to everything?
You know, it's just I'm building up an inventory, a collection, if you will, that I sell for a price.
This city's a capitalist society, isn't it? Ugh.
We don't. I don't think we know the.
No, we
what
don't.
Yeah,
capitalism
you
is.
don't know.
I'm
the
here
shit
to
that-
introduce you to this wonderful system.
Like you literally you did anybody stop him from collecting Hoshi's?
I was about to.
Yeah, Verbs tried to mention it, and then like 2 sentences later, you said, "Well, Mr. Chan's picking up the stuff."
Oh, I'm sorry. So Verbs, you intercept him as he's trying to collect
Does this have that-
Hoshi's belongings. So how do you two resolve this?
Does this have the same aura as Hoshi's?
You don't know. The
No,
aura,
I'm just-
the aura is Verbs.
He's asking.
Oh, he's asking in character.
For the
Okay.
sake of finding Hoshi, I feel that we should let someone else hold on to them.
And I'm going to pick up Hoshi's belongings.
I was
Oh.
gonna say I look at Ram, who is very good at dropping once in like the actual story and once in my weird dreams, and realize that he probably has the closest proportions to Hoshi. And is Ram armored?
I don't believe
What?
he is. Ramam, are you on? Do you
I
have
think he
armor?
was wearing that armor that was too heavy for him. That
Yeah.
that was not
Oh.
proficient with.
I'm picturing like the Christmas story with his arms stuck out to the side and just kind of walk there.
It's even cuter with the fuzz.
Oh my god.
Oh, Ramam would normally be wearing that, but I'm assuming that would have been taken off to administer healing.
That's what I was
Question
thinking as well.
Yeah, my first thought is if Hoshi, as much as I would love to have this armor, I'm a fat fuck. Ram might fit in it and probably needs it the most.
Is this the armor that you collected earlier, or is this something that you're assuming from the collection of stuff?
If everything Hoshi was wearing was behind and he was this grand warrior, I'm assuming you're saying Hoshi dropped armor.
There is, in fact, no armor.
Oh.
Well, I guess Hoshi's scales were just that damn good.
Or maybe Hoshi is still wearing them.
Oh,
No, Hoshi. You don't know what Hoshi was wearing.
Maybe he was
You
just
were
very
looking
agile.
at him.
Oh well, he was definitely wearing armor before.
But his armor's not here.
His armor seems to be gone.
Okay. But
and-
other physical possessions seem to have been left behind.
And at the risk of giving away the ghost here, I should say that Vierbs, you're getting a pretty good magical hit off of the pendant that Slurg has.
Yeah, which is a big reason I was asking about how, exactly, where that ended up in my hand, that sort of thing.
Can I observe the pendant closely?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, in my inventory, I've actually already swapped the eroded one on my neck. I've put that in my bag, and I've swapped to the fresh one. And,
And
immediately think this is Hoshi's, but it seems like you're about to make some connections.
Well, Vibs is going to, like, what's it called? Vibs is going to get up and close to you and ask, because it's a new one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's certainly less worn.
Well, I mean, it's your, like, personally to you, it is.
Yes.
Okay. So he's gonna say,
You didn't have this before.
No, I found it clenched in my fist when I came to.
and did you say it had a magical aura to it, Gates?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna.
And you already said Slurg looked to be, like, blasted with whatever else, so you're just walking up to him with Detect Magic on and just, like, shielding your eyes at this point.
Are you concealing this pendant, by the way?
No, I just said I affixed it to my neck to replace a eroded one that I was wearing when I first came to this place.
Oh, cool. Give me a minute. That's weird. Looks like junk to me.
Looks like a dog right now. We don't know what dogs are.
Seriously appeared in your hand.
Weird that you put garbage around.
Well, excellent. Nobody tell him otherwise, so he doesn't make off with this shit.
So
Nobody tell
Hey,
him
we need to
otherwise.
teach Mr. Chant about sleight of hand.
Well, that would be he had to appraise it first, and then he
It's
would
like it was
just
worth stealing, and
Exactly,
thankfully,
it's like, what
you'll
does that
never
mean?
think it's worth
Ah.
stealing.
garbage.
By the way, I would
Won't
like
waste
to ask more about how to make private rolls.
No, Mr. Chan's like, wow, weird garbage you got there, but all right.
Hanging around your neck.
Yeah, I'm a great friend of Hoshi.
Yeah.
Doesn't recognize the thing Hoshi wears.
Listen, he had it tucked behind his like chest plate or whatever. It was hard to see.
So what was I gonna say? And what kind of it has a similar magical aura to the heart, or it has a different magical aura?
It's not like it doesn't have that type of aura to it. This one, if I had to identify a school of magic, I believe it is conjuration.
Hmm. Can I? Okay, so can I determine what it actually does? I mean, I can. It's a check. I have to use spellcraft. Do you mind if I roll for that
Go for
to
it.
see what exactly it does?
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm rolling pretty well.
Given the nature of the magic and the situation you find yourselves in, while there, I'll tell you is like you think that this is the armor. It's like magic armor.
Let's see. I think
Out of character. Thank you.
Virus is going to have a like I don't think he'll be able to stop himself from having just this like the frick kind of look.
I get it. It's you're looking at me, but you got to peel the fat folds back from my chin and my upper chest while you're looking at it. I have this reaction.
Before you like go and start talking about what this is, you do recognize it as a conjuration magic, and you think it's tied to the magic armor. However, as far as you know, it's activated with a command word or phrase, and you don't know what it is.
Has he looked at the back
Oh.
yet?
Yeah, I was about to say. I was about to ask.
Did Hoshi ever say anything in particular? Or is there any special word connected to this?
Because at the moment I'm just seeing it from front, I'm guessing.
There's something written on the back, but I don't know how to translate it. And I'm tempted to turn to Mr. Chant, and I shake my head and change my mind, and I head over to Tank.
Yes.
What does that? What does that look for?
I turn it over, like I rotate it around on my neck in front of Tank, and kind of with my hand gesture it up a little bit. Can you understand this?
I'm going to have her. She's going to. You're offering it to her, correct?
I'm asking her to just take a look at the words. I haven't actually taken it off of my neck, but if she can't see it, I'll briefly take it off.
Well, you want her to try to read it while it's around your folds?
I want her to bend down in front of me. I don't like feeling short. Okay, fine. I will briefly hand it to her.
Okay, she steals it and runs away. No. Let's see here.
And the check, Virbs did. So far, Virbs has described the magic on the different things he's found, but he hasn't said anything about there's an aura on his pendant or
Nope.
my person. That's what I figured. That's a very Virbs thing.
All right.
That's extremely Virbs.
So to answer one question that I kind of heard pinging around is that none of you really recall hearing him say anything when you were in his company. I will allow Mr. Chant to make a knowledge local check. I believe that's something you took.
Knowledge local, yes.
All right, so I'll have you make that real quick.
A little better.
Lucky number 7.
little better.
Doesn't seem so lucky.
I'm just going to say that Mr. Chant and she will and Tank will back you up on this if you care to look. You don't have to tell them, but well, you never really delved too deeply into the written language. Well, let's see. Would you guys? I'm trying to think because I've been debating this with myself forever, and now it's one of those concreting moments. It would probably be that you would understand it as they basically have a chant or an oath. It's like the Green Lantern's Creed kind of a thing, only with the Dragon's Order, and that is probably what is inscribed on the back of it. However, the issue that you're having is that while the order existed, it wasn't something that was really like nobody. The care for it had dwindled. It was something that still exists and still clung to the city, but the amount anybody recognized it or dealt with it had dwindled to such a point that it was never a concern for anybody to kind of memorize this sort of a thing. And the times that the chants were uttered were rare, to the point that neither Tank nor Mr. Chant will recall what the oath was, at least word for word. Chant, if you want, I will tell you that it's something that you believe recognizes, if they choose to show you. I'm not sure if you got a look or not. I just kind of
If
drew you
if
up into
Tank,
this.
yeah, if I'm not getting too much from Tank, then I will
Yeah.
check with Mr. Chant.
You will recognize that they had a big thing about like willpower kind of a deal, where your own, like, everything is made by your personal resolve to make it happen, and you think that was a focus of the chant, but if other than muttering off a few strings of words, you can't really nail it down word for word. And that's what you got from that. And at some point, Tank will probably offer it back to you.
Okay. And Tank was not able to translate the back for me.
The best she could come up with, like, I've been writing shit down and I hate all of it. That's why I'm kind of wishy-washy so much, but
It's okay, dude. If you want to make it just say like the magic words are like Morbon, it's okay.
Yeah. But hold on, I apologize. But so if you're trying to read it, like, somebody here is going to be able to read some Draconic.
Oh, it's just a Draconic?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you made it out. I felt like you made it out before, like there's just something on the back. Yeah, like we all read Draconic. What's that
Yeah,
shit
I was
say?
just saying that was just like worn or something. So, as best as you can tell, what I have here, and I'm just gonna go with it. Otherwise, I'll try to rewrite this a million times. From our will, the fire's born. Let its blaze burn away any doubt. That in its warmth we unite, and in its light we shall thrive. It ignites the forge that molds the world.
Did you possibly drop that in chat? Because I cannot take notes that fast.
Yeah, it's on my phone. I'll copy paste it to you in
Please
Discord.
do.
I was like sitting in bed just kind of writing shit down, and that's where I ended up before I passed out watching TV. Alright. But as far as the creed goes, I sent it to you in Telegram if you want to share it around. That the command word wasn't involved in that.
That's fine. I'm probably still going to mutter it to myself here.
Sorry for dragging that out. It was kind of the hemming
I
and
get it,
hawing.
Dragon. I'm going to change it to say ignites, say ingites. Okay, I've left that. Oh, you can't do like italics or anything, can you? Oh, yes, you can. Found it. Cool. Ignites the forge that molds the world, I assume. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay, for will
essentially
the
the
fire.
point gets across, even if I didn't find the string of words I wanted.
That's fine.
And nothing happens when he utters those words while holding it, right?
Yeah,
No.
he said that that is not the activation.
And it's like, here's how to. It's like putting a key under your welcome mat. You know, it's like, God, no.
Yeah.
It's like, I will not tell you how to use the armor by writing the incantation on the back of the medallion. Fuck you.
To be fair, like, how would you get it off on?
He
It's not like-
Murdered him.
Well, I mean, it was under the plate, but yeah, that's fine because on the back of the real one you gave me, it says drgus.com, copyright 2018, made in USA.
Yeah. You mean Dr. Champ? Or Mr. Champ?
All right. It does make me wonder if, in some way, like the area we were before with the artifact and the actual volcano going off seems a little related to, could be related to some of this. I mean, this could just be a really cool saying if there's anything physical about it, and we have reason to put that artifact back anyway. So that's my 2 cents. But I don't know if we're done here or not.
It depends. Is there anything else you'd like to do? And I guess I should... This is another reason why I have to write everything down, Essex. Chant, when you encountered Tank, do you think you were out collecting materials, or do you think you were in town?
I'm sorry, what?
When you ran into Tank and she brought you over to the group, do you think you were collecting materials and where you collect materials, or do you think you were in town with the townspeoples?
I think I was collecting materials.
All right, so you're probably not overly aware of the state of the town then right now, since
Not at the moment, no.
as luckily you have you have certain fortifications against the issues they're having. Okay, so that was that.
Okay. I suppose it is... something was just in my mind. Yeah. I should quickly ask, and I suspect the answer is no, but I'll feel foolish if I don't check. Considering the implication that I'm glowing with some magic aura. I don't feel funny at all, do I? Other than, anything different than I just woke up from being unconscious.
Headache, just maybe general aches and pains. There's nothing that seems unusual to you at the moment.
That's perfectly fine.
You could
Pretty
do
much what I expected, but I'd feel silly if I didn't check.
I think there's a medical check if you want to try to push that.
Well, it would be like a heal check.
Yeah, heal check.
Which isn't really my
Forte.
cup of tea here. I mean, it can't hurt to check myself before I wreck myself, so you ain't wrong.
Oh.
With a 20, you will recognize that the aches and pains seem unrelated to the injuries you've taken.
And what were you trying to say, Marsh?
Oh, never mind. Sorry, that was I mistakenly thought something.
So there's a concern about the nature of them. All right.
That is a little concerning, so I guess I'm putting on a brave face.
Anything else from anybody here?
Well, we're definitely not gonna have Mr. Chant take all the personal effects. So
Y'all
for
are no
now,
fun.
for now, Veers will. I guess he'll bundle them in as best he can.
All right. So you're just taking them all and putting them into a bundle, or are you going through any of it?
Oh, I thought we already went through them.
As far as did you go through them and I missed it? I thought you just collected them, like you were going over ownership of them.
I would like to look through them.
All right. Whose stuff are you going through first?
Thanesh.
Thanesh himself had a longsword, a spear. He had tattered clothes and a backpack, bedroll, dried rations of various natures. We'll say total of 3. He had a healer's kit with. I'll copy paste this if I need to. Healer's kit with 3 charges, a Tanglefoot bag, a pouch of assorted herbs, presumably for seasoning. He had probably one of the more interesting things now is he had a paper with a map on it, and it looked like a Skay map.
Interesting.
Alright.
I'm still gonna have detect magic on while I look through his belongings.
Nothing else is particularly magical. And are you going through this where everybody can keep an eye on you and keep things fair? Or are you trying to do this where you can kind of, have your first look before you let others know?
I'll not. I won't be surreptitious about it. I'm like everyone's already here. I doubt I'm gonna be able to keep things hidden anyway.
All right. So you're going through his stuff. You're taking out things from his bag, and you're setting it down. You're kind of just getting a general inventory, trying to glean what you can. You take out the one case and a scroll case, and that's where you find the map. And the next thing that you pull out, and you still have your magical thing on, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has a bit of a magical residue to it. So, and as Rom, you're looking over his shoulder, make a perception check.
Perception. Un momento. Why?
You can't quite make it out so good. None of you can really tell what this is. But even though it has a bit of a magical residue to it, it's basically looks like an item that had been shattered at some point, with a bit of blood on it.
I believe it's a bit of
And
blood.
it is a wooden item. It seems to be of craft, some sort of craft, but you can't really make it out what it might have been at some point. And that is the Nash's belongings. Alright, can you see that inventory?
Oh, cool. Broken within magic thing. Can did you end up telling me if it had any? Do I have to make a check again to see what exactly the magic is of the wooden thing?
I'm just gonna, if you'd like, but I'm gonna go pretty high on the check right now because it's been shattered.
Oh, okay, I see. So I'm guessing since it's an item, I'd have to use a spellcraft check. So
Yeah.
holy frick!
Well then.
Well,
It is. I'm gonna tell you specifically with a critical roll like that, and you're the only one that's going to know this, but it seems like this was something specifically designed to enhance audio qualities of an item, particularly making music.
Oh,
Mm.
and now it's shattered.
Let me know if you want to do anything there, Mr. Chan. I don't mean to keep you in the background too much.
no, it's all right.
Let's see.
Mr. Chance just looking at the depth of our situation.
Trying to take this in. You guys seem like you're kind of caught up on all this.
All right, and that's what you got from that. And then there's
Oh, she's.
Hoshi's body, and it seemed like Hoshi himself was traveling pretty light, especially considering that he is missing his armor, and you really only find his weapons, clothing, some rations, an empty vial that contains a little bit of liquid left, not enough for any effect. And the most interesting thing, especially to Mr. Chant, is a pouch containing 85 gold coins.
Is that important to y'all? Can I grab that real quick?
None of you know what it is.
Oh, only I know what it is.
Only they've never encountered money before.
Oh, okay. Let me
It's
just make
money.
a quick little thing here.
Little deception roll.
Just gonna roll.
And
Deception's
deception or
not a
sleight of
thing.
hand?
But sleight of hand is
A little
certainly a
bluff
thing
roll?
if you're trained.
Let me just.
What is money?
I'd like to use that.
You would like to use that? All right. I need a perception check you're all going through this shit, right?
Yes.
Nothing better to do.
So all three of you make a perception check, though Slurg and Rom are gonna do it at -5.
Minus
21.
Ah, rolled low.
-4. I thought this is right.
Rom and Veerds, Slurg, while they're going through all the stuff, you see nothing as well. So, you have acquired all of those items listed.
I'm going to look at the empty vial.
Yep.
No magic.
No magic.
I'm gonna try to do. I guess it'd be a knowledge nature. I mean, is there any? There's like not even a drop in it, right?
No, there's a drop in it.
I'm gonna see if there's anything about it that I can figure out with knowledge nature.
So go ahead and inspect it.
Ah, darn.
Well, it's okay because it smells like something that you guys have encountered not more than an hour ago. It smells like the Mr. Chance mystery elixir.
I turn to him.
Another satisfied customer.
So you do recognize this then?
Yes.
Mr.
What exactly do they do?
Tell them, Mr. Chan.
Well, I don't know if you have noticed, but there seems to be a common ailment in our local town. Our citizens are dreary, hard to focus, kind of stumbling about, hard to really get anything done. So, what I provide is that wonderful concoction y'all had earlier today to get the people moving when the sleepiness, I guess, for lack of a better term, hits them. The best part of waking up is Mr. Chance, a lovely elixir in your cup, as I like to sing.
Safe for work, right?
Yes.
You just to ask, Mr. Chant, are you going to give them their Are you going to sing the jingle?
I might.
Do you want to roll for it?
Sure.
Performance check.
Rom can give you backing.
And what happened?
He might sing a commercial jingle.
Oh no.
And I knock it out of the park.
Oh no.
I finish with jazz hands. I stuck the landing. I know it.
The fact that this is a production scares me more, wondering what I drank.
Don't you feel faster? Like you're moving at a good. You're not stumbling anymore. We can all see that.
I'm gonna use a sense motive,
Yeah,
even
I-
though
I
I'm
asked-
not so good at it.
I asked Gates, is any of that true?
That you're not stumbling or anything?
Well, I asked earlier, in fact, with a heal check, if I feel any different.
You do feel different, and one of the weird things is that besides having those odd aches and pains, you do seem to have more energy. Like, usually it takes you a while to get your motor going in the morning, but, unlike normal, is like you're just up and at 'em. Seems like you're doing pretty damn good. You're aware, you're alert. You don't know what that is. Maybe it's because your friends just turned into fire not too long ago, but something's just got you working at full speed today.
Yeah, could be that. Okay, second question. This one, I guess, is a little OC. How long do I have, and do I have to start rolling, like, checks to fight an addiction to this shit?
I'll make those for you, don't worry.
Yeah, because, like, that... For all I know, Muff looked it up and found, oh, that's a Pathfinder mechanic. Ooh, goody.
Would I do
Oh wait, addiction's a mechanic?
For certain declared drugs, yes.
Did you hear that, Doc?
I just did, yes.
That's a thing.
All right, making a note.
Thank you so much, Slurg, for expanding my knowledge of Pathfinder.
You're
I'm
welcome.
gonna sense motive on him.
All right.
I'm not good. I'm not good at it, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
You doubt me after such a performance?
I'll let him know it's great, but I also have this really weird, unexplainable headache, and aches in places I'm definitely not bruised.
You should drink some water.
Here's some of my patent pending, Mr.
Water.
Chance, miraculous water.
Crystal clear spring lake water, only found from the finest of riverbeds.
The flyness.
The finest of riverbeds.
They're pretty fly.
Slurg
For a river
hates
guy.
him already.
All right. So I heard a sense motive check.
Right.
All right. So while you're making that, I need a check from you, Mr. Chant. You have to do a bluff check. If depending on the outcome of this combative roll,
Okay.
you will have to tell them your true meaning versus whatever meaning you want them to instill, whatever meaning you want to instill.
Like, if he's telling the truth, he would use persuasion. If he's telling a lie, he has to use bluff. But that's up to him to non-discreetly say or whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna do a sense motive.
I'll know which one you're using if you just do a secret roll there,
Darn.
Mr. Chant.
I thought that was a 17 for a second.
I'm not seeing one of these options.
There's bluff and there's persuasion under skills. Well, sorry, it's what's it called?
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy. Yeah, it's
Diplomacy.
diplomacy in
Yeah.
Pathfinder, not persuasion in 5e. You believe him. You have no reason to doubt anything that he has told you.
And Slurk, you feel okay?
Oh, like I said, I've got these weird aches and pains I wasn't expecting.
But you're moving and grooving. Not as good as me, of course, but
Yeah, not a fan of the word but.
yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm good. You can keep your stuff. Honestly, it tastes like beaver piss.
Oh, I'll keep that under consideration.
Another satisfied
Another
customer.
No, no, not at all.
Well, next time, if you want some sweet cubes, you can just ask for them, okay?
Sweet.
Look, it takes. I need to have a convincing reason for Slurg not to suck something down. So the aches and pains got me 90% of the way there, but I need to make up the beaver piss thing for the other 10%.
Oh shit!
It's
All
my
right.
opinion taste, of course.
Gonna need to rewatch this section a little later because I'm not quite sure how this happened.
What was it called?
Okay.
They found some of the material that I had used for my brew.
Oh,
That's why they got suspicious of me.
On Hoshi.
Yeah.
Hey, they told Tank said that didn't one of them say that Hoshi was a fan of it?
Yeah. See? I provide a service.
Why do you keep defending yourself?
Because you keep
Literally just asking what this does.
Yeah, and I told you.
You seem offended as a person.
Listen, I'm just trying to help everything move along in both our town and for people who, don't look so hot like your group did at first. But you're all good and moving right now, every single one of you.
I hurt.
You...
And
Yes.
the best part about this is the hurt has nothing to do with his drink, but the
Right.
timing is perfect.
Yes.
So I'm gonna ask Gates, do we know what a Tanglefoot bag does? Like our characters?
You, if you want, I'll just give it to you. You can assume it's like what that like. I didn't use the exact definition when you fought the snake, but it's something like that.
Okay.
Which basically just kind of helped bind him up into when he got rocks on his head. So it just trips you up if you throw it at him. I'll have to look up the exact mechanic of it, but yeah. You would probably know. Alright.
Alrighty. I'm gonna. Right, like I said, I'm gonna bundle up everything and give. I'll allow Slurk to hold it, I guess, because I'm not gonna be able to.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm just gonna copy this shit over and label it bundle of these things. Or is it also the Nash things?
The Nash things as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna bundle this all together because by the time I make 50 different items in my inventory, the session will be over.
Hey
Yeah,
Gates,
yeah, we
do we notice that 85 gold coins are missing when I give him all these things?
You probably don't notice unless you're
Okay.
like if you have any like specific reason to be paying attention to that one item, maybe, but I don't know that you have any particular reason to be looking for that one item.
Alrighty.
So, congrats on calling it. Alright, so are we at the moving on point?
Pretty much. I'm just saving things to my sheet.
Alright, so I'm going to do two things. Because of time constraints, I am going to basically have us quick travel to the tunnel issue. We'll do a little bit of a narrative as that happens, but I'm just going to push it along. just to make sure that we get everything I want to get accomplished, and give Mr. Chant all the time he needs in order to fulfill his obligations later today. Before we start that scene, though, I am going to offer everybody a 10-minute break. Do you feel 10 minutes enough, or do you think you'd need a little longer? Because I certainly have to pee.
I think 10 minutes is fine.
Yeah.
So
I'll
we
sign.
will.
I'll make the quickest lunch I can with what few ingredients we have in 10 minutes.
Would you like 15 minutes or a little bit more?
If I'm a little late, then I apologize. We have very limited ingredients.
We'll just
having
say-
been out for a week. Our food mostly went bad.
All right, I'll just say
Oh, no.
3:20 then. Give you a little extra time.
We'll
Alright.
get back as soon as we can.
So 3:20 reconvene. Everybody enjoy themselves.
Yay! Don't enjoy
Yeah.
yourself too much.
Should remind myself that it's